Elon Musk and Twitter. Chill, Elon Musk and Twitter. After Elon Musk went out there and tried to perpetrate a coup on what's their name? You know what? I don't care about what Elon do. Twitter whole business perpetrated this whole act on Twitter. Try to muster a coup and try to overtake Twitter, and then purchase 9% of shares. He was supposed to we talked about this in the last episode. He was supposed to so wait. Okay. So he was supposed to disclose how many shares he had when he got to, I believe it was 5%. Yeah. So I think the threshold was 5%. And under the SEC Act, he's required to notify financial regulators within 10 days of passing that threshold. But he waited and continued to accumulate shares. And then he waited until after April 4th. And then he acquired 9.1% of the company before he filed the disclosures. So Twitter was mad. Everybody was mad. And then he threw himself a cyber party to celebrate that he opened up a new factory in Austin, Texas. So then after that, so since our last conversation, he then offered to buy Twitter. So, so he acquired 9% of shares in Twitter, making him the largest shareholder at the time of the company, and then he announced plans to join their board of directors. But then he decided that he wasn't actually going to be joining the board because he didn't want to submit to a background check, is what people believe. And then he was slapped with a lawsuit from Twitter shareholders who accused him of failing to disclose his 9% stake in the company on time. And that's like going against the SEC Act, they said. And then he went on to Twitter and he tweeted that that he made an offer that he's hoping Twitter doesn't refuse. And he tagged the SEC document where he made the offer. So he offered to buy Twitter at a cost of $54.20 per share. And it was said that that represents a 38% premium over the closing prices of shares on April 1st, which was the last day of trading before he disclosed that he had 9% stakes. So it was definitely seeming like a takeover. He submitted a letter to Twitter that explained his intentions, and he believed that Twitter needs to be taken private to fix everything bad about Twitter, and that's something that he can unlock. According to CNN, he says, I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. He said in a letter to Twitter, however, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve the societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. And he addressed that letter to Brett Taylor, the chair of the Twitter board, not the CEO, Parag Agrawal, who assumed that title last fall. And then it says, Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. So, I don't know. Elon wants to unlock Twitter's potential. I don't know what he means for free speech, because Twitter seems to me to be more of like a group think. Like people get together and think the same, and then it becomes a hive, and then they start to do all types of stuff with the one mind and the hive mentality. But I don't know. So I don't know what he's so what's so yeah. So Twitter acknowledged that it received this offer and claimed they were reviewing it to see if it would be in the best interest of the current shareholders and the company in general. And then I told you that, I don't know if I told you, but he said that if Twitter turns him down, then he have to reconsider, and that's probably like gonna be dumping his shares. That would be interesting. And according to delisting, Twitter is delisted. Twitter is already a pretty high temperature dumpster fire, and many Twitter users are predicting an Elon-owned Twitter could develop into something even worse. So I don't know what they mean by that, but then they said that the Saudi Prince Al Walid bin Talal, who is a majority stakeholder in Twitter, rejected Elon's offer, saying that it's too low. Elon has said that it is final offer, but people started to talk about his father owning an emerald mine, and he playing with diamonds, and tweets about him and all types of stuff. Right, so that's it. So after that, Twitter then decided to develop what they call this poison pill against Musk, right? And the poison pill is like a defense to block anybody's takeover. So, the Wall Street Journal reported that Twitter had adopted a poison pill in an attempt to block Elon's takeover. It's a defensive strategy, also known as a shareholders' rights plan. Deadline says this approach makes hostile takeovers more expensive and complicated for a buyer and allows existing shareholders the right to buy additional shares of Twitter at a discount, effectively diluting the ownership interest of a new hostile party. So Elon's stake is rendered less valuable, and it'd be harder for him to control a majority of shareholder votes in favor of his acquisition. This will take effect if his stake grows to 15% or more. And the AP says the move injects another twist into a melodrama, and it's essentially Twitter gearing up for a battle. So they said even if it discourages his takeover attempt, Musk could still take over the company by waging a proxy fight in which shareholders vote to retain or dismiss the company's current directors. Twitter said a plan doesn't prevent the board from negotiating or accepting an acquisition proposal if it's in the company's best interest. They're gearing up for a battle here with Musk, said Daniel Ives, an analyst for Wedbush Securities. They also have to give themselves time to try to find another potential buyer. So, Columbia University law professor John Coffey says that Elon could fight Twitter's strategy in court, but no court has overturned a poison pill in the last 30 years. Analyst Daniel Ives said that Twitter's poison pill is a classic defensive maneuver, but on Wall Street it could be seen as a sign of weakness. So it sounds like Twitter's shareholders are going to have to get together and try to come together and decide exactly what they're going to do with this that Elon is doing right now. So that's what Elon Musk stated in that, and that's what Twitter responded with. And then he went on to come back now on yesterday and let us know that he's currently without a home and he couch surfs with friends. I don't know. So he says that he's homeless and crashes on a variety of friends' couches, and it sounds so he's crashing on a variety of friends' couches, and Grimes is living in somebody's home. I don't even understand it. He moved to Texas last year to the new home base for Tesla, and he claimed that after selling everything he owned, he moved into a modest $50,000 box house that he rents from SpaceX, and claimed the only other home he owned was one in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's been named the richest man in the world, and this is a title he passes back and forth with a few other billionaires like Jeff Bezos. His net worth is reported to be $265 billion. So I don't even understand. I don't even know what $1 billion is. I don't even know what it looks like. All this was presented at Elon Musk during a TED interview with Chris Anderson to promote Tesla's new Gigafactory in Texas. Chris noted that there are many people who can't stand this world of billionaires, and that it can be hugely offensive that one man can have the same wealth as a billion or more of the world's poorest people. If you're one of those people, then don't look at Elon Musk that way, because he is like living in poverty basically, because he said, I don't even own a place right now via Complex. He says, I don't even own a place right now. I'm literally staying at friends' places. If I travel to the Bay Area, which is where most of Tesla's engineering is, I basically rotate through friends' spare bedrooms. So people just have Elon Musk cut with them, and Elon must have so much money. It must have give them a good amount of money for stay at them place like hotel. It must use Elon. Is it Airbnbs, your friends renting out? You know what? He says that he doesn't have the same frivolous spending habits as those in the same tax bracket as him, claiming his biggest purchase was a plane that he uses because without it he would have less hours to work. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the latest for Elon, and that's what we wanted to talk about. So let's talk about so according to Newsweek.com, mystery flying whirlpool filmed over Hawaii was a dead SpaceX rocket. A mysterious swirling whirlpool was spotted in the sky over Hawaii on Sunday, and it has been revealed to have been the death spiral of the upper stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The phenomenon was dubbed a flying whirlpool by operators of the Subaru Asahi Star camera, part of the Subaru telescope located on the dormant volcano Mauna Kea, at which it filmed its passage through the sky. While the spinning object may resemble a shockingly close spiral galaxy whipping through space past the Earth, its origins actually lie closer to home. And this is a screenshot of the Subaru. So, right here in this area is where you see the whirlpool. That's a screenshot taken from a video shot by the telescope. The whirlpool was spotted just hours after a National Reconnaissance Office classified satellite payload was launched atop one of Elon Musk's SpaceX Falcon 9 rockets as part of the NRO Launch 85. This means the spiral is actually the aftermath of that launch. The SpaceX Falcon 9 launched from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 6:13 a.m. on April 17. A booster had previously launched the NRO-L-87 mission, making this the first time an NRO satellite had launched on a used rocket. The SpaceX rocket's two stages separated about 2.5 minutes after launch, with the first stage heading back to Earth and touching down at Vandenberg Air Force's base landing zone 5.5 minutes after separation in what seems to be a flawless launch. The death spiral is the upper stage of the Falcon 9, which, unlike the lower stage, which successfully executed a vertical touchdown at Vandenberg, is not designed to be reused. This means the upper stage is allowed to fall back into the atmosphere and burn up. A researcher at the astronomy department of Leiden University, Marco Longbroek, told Newsweek the video shows the upper stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket venting leftover rocket fuel just before re-entering into the atmosphere over a safe area in the Pacific. The vented rocket fuel droplets form a cloud in space that is illuminated by sunlight, and it becomes visible as a glowing cloud. He added that this venting of fuel remnants from the tanks is a standard procedure performed after the rocket engine does its final deorbit burn. The purpose is to avoid fuel vapors from remnants of fuel in the tank exploding. He continued, "You don't want that to happen, certainly not while the rocket stage is still in space, as it can create space debris. Also, such an explosion could mean that fragments of the rocket stage could come down too early, not over the safe area you designed for that, and that is obviously something you want to avoid. In the video uploaded to the Subaru Telescope YouTube channel, the rocket can be seen spinning as it passes from the left-hand side of the screen to the right. As it moves, it fades and falls closer and closer to the surface of the Earth. This isn't the first time that a rocket has created a mysterious spiral in the night sky over Earth. In January this year, another SpaceX rocket, this time launching from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, created a fiery spiral over the skies of Oklahoma, CBS News reported. The phenomenon was captured by meteorologist Lacey Swope, who uploaded a stunning image to her Facebook page on January 1st. So the rocket gives off this whirlpool-looking, alien-looking thing. So, like, if you see that, probably you would think it was an alien type of, what's in the sky. And that's her pictures that she posted of that. Linebrook added a very similar spiral cloud was photographed by a Dutch commercial pilot over East Africa following the ill-fated Zuma spy satellite launch, also by SpaceX on January 8, 2018. It was photographed from several other locations in East Africa too at the same time. The spiral probably results from rotation of the rocket stage. We have seen this more often with the Falcon 9 fuel vents. This spinning is probably intentional. Spinning the rocket stage over its long axis is a way to stabilize the attitude of the rocket stage, and in that way, control drag from the upper atmosphere. Control drag from the upper atmosphere. On the stage. That is important to have the stage enter the atmosphere in the designated area. He concluded by saying that other rockets can create differently shaped phenomena. I personally observed a fuel vent connected to the launch of the Landsat 9 satellite last year on 27 September 2021 from Leiden, the Netherlands, which was spectacular to watch. This was not a spiral-shaped one due to another rocket type used for that launch, but V-shaped, another frequent shape for these events. SpaceX did not comment to Newsweek about the mystery. Okay, so that's it for the SpaceX news. They launched, they rolled out Falcon 9 and Dragon capsule to launch pad for NASA's Crew 4 mission. So that's occurring. So on April 19, they rolled out his Falcon 9 rocket mounted with the Dragon capsule to launch Complex 398 at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So Falcon 9 and Dragon are rolling out of the hangar at Launch Complex 398. The rocket is being prepared for the Crew 4 mission, which would send 3 NASA and 1 European astronauts to the International Space Station on April 23rd. The launch, which would complete SpaceX's 4th contracted crewed mission, is targeted for 2:56 p.m. That was yesterday, I believe. This is their 7th overall mission to launch astronauts into space. SpaceX's first launch with humans was under the Demo 2 mission in May 2020, when it launched 2 NASA astronauts to the space station on a test flight. This was followed by Crew 1, 2, and 3, along with the Inspiration 4 mission, which carried 4 private astronauts to space in a 3-day trip in September 2021. Most recently, the company transported 4 astronauts to the ISS under the NASA Axiom Space's Axiom 1 mission. This was the first ever fully commercial launch to the space station. So the Crew 4 astronauts, they launched to the space station on a 6-month mission. Oh, that's nice. So currently both NASA and SpaceX have another responsibility in their hands, according to RepublicWorld.com, which is to ensure a safe return of the AX-1 crew members. It was launched to the space station on April 8th with 4 commercial astronauts who will be making their return after a 10-day stay. The crew was initially supposed to depart for Earth on April 19, but it had been postponed indefinitely due to unfavorable weather. Oh no. Axiom Space in a mission update tweeted earlier today, due to unfavorable weather conditions, we're waving off tonight's undocking of the AX-1 mission from Space Station. The integrated Axiom Space, NASA, and SpaceX teams are assessing the next best opportunity for the return of AX-1, the first all-private mission to the ISS. Okay. And that's it for Elon Musk and SpaceX. Let me see what we are doing over there. So, according to Yahoo News, NASA invents revolutionary material 1,000 times better than state-of-the-art spaceship alloys. NASA scientists have invented a new metal alloy that is 1,000 times more durable than current state-of-the-art materials used in aviation and space exploration. The U.S. Space Agency believes that alloy GRX-810 could revolutionize space travel as it can withstand far harsher conditions than existing materials used within rocket engines. The material has twice the strength, 3.5 times the flexibility, and more than 1,000 times the durability under stress at high temperatures. This breakthrough is revolutionary for materials development, said Dale Hopkins, Deputy Project Manager of NASA's Transformational Tools and Technologies product. New types of stronger and more lightweight materials play a key role as NASA aims to change the future of flight. Previously, an increase in tensile strength usually lowered a material's ability to stretch and bend before breaking, which is why our new alloy is remarkable. So that's it for NASA. I'm not going too deep into that. You can check out that information on yahoonews.com. All right, so we're done with that. We're done with Elon Musk and Twitter. I guess we're not going to really know too much about Baby X. Elon said he don't really live nowhere right now, so that's it. Let's talk about Nicki Minaj, Erica Banks, and Coyle Ray. Okay, so the girl Erica Banks, I don't know, she rap. Y'all know her. She came up this week talking about Nicki Minaj only works with girls who can't rap. Like, who does that? She's actually looking for a feature. So